Hi everybody, it's me, Iván Ramirez, with another episode of Hiking with Iván. If you haven't, be sure to check out this season's interviews. We have talked with Daisy from Northeast News, Miriam from Azul Esperanza, and today we're talking with Celia.
Hello, hello.
Celia works for UnitedHealthcare. She is an entrepreneur, mental health expert, y muchas cosas más. Casey Current, fanatic on the weekends.
I'm an employee.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm an employee. I'm still a fanatic.
Also fanatic.
Pero it's my fun work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know. I told you. I really want to do that. Just so I can take my mind off. Yeah. From work. But yeah, today we're just hiking in Rock Island in Raytown, or at least from it. But yeah, this is the trail that you also hike. Yeah.
I think what's cool is you say Raytown, Lee Summit, you get a little bit of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because you can start it over at the Royal Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Kansas City. Come over, you hit Raytown, you Lee Summit.
Yep.
I don't know where else.
And I don't know what else happens after that. Yep. So yeah, let's start. Tell us about you, but before we get into all the titles, the experience, tell us about El Derramadero. And
you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
And then where it all started. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So I want to say, I feel like I'm one of the typical families that, we grew up. So we were born and raised here, the majority of the kids in the family. Born and raised here, but we were the typical family that would go to Mexico every year. Mm-hmm. And so then we went to El Derramadero, Guanajuato. It's about 30 minutes now because and we can do a little bit of Spanish and English, right?
Sí.
Okay, yeah. So there's now a better carretera. So you can get from Morelia to El Derramadero with 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, but what I think is really cool is que El Derramadero is right on the border it's on the border of Michoacán and Guanajuato. And I think if we ever have any runners or anything, we will just move out of the way. We'll just move to the right so that way we give space for people. But El Derramadero is on the border of Guanajuato and Michoacán, where actually, because, it's like un cerro or whatever, right? Que la parte de arriba, so the top part, belongs to Michoacán, and the bottom part to Guanajuato. But our municipio, or who we legally belong to, will be to the Guanajuato side. Mm-hmm. And so then I think definitely that's something that formed my identity. Yeah. That beliefs, culture, food, music, experiences, language, I can't be separated from it.
Derramadero.
So yeah.
What are some of your favorite memories? Because you would drive from here to Mexico?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's 5 kids, 2 adults, that right now I have no idea how families would ever fly with 5 kids and 2 adults. Yeah. So we drove. And I'm kind of a little bit older. So many years ago, the carreteras were not in the same condition that they were. So before, it was, I think, 2 full days.
Wow.
In the car.
Yeah.
Van. In the van. Mm-hmm. So old school vans. And if anybody remembers, there used to be the old, with shiny thingies on the front of the vans. Yeah. We have reflectors and little fringe.
Yes.
That was us. So we did that.
Any music that reminds you of your trips? Any
all the time. And I will have if you need a full playlist, I can give you a playlist. But I was a teenager during the quebradita times. Oh, uh-huh. So for me, and I say quebradita, but you can also be more technical and say tecnobandas. Uh-huh. So yes, it could be a very long list. So anything from quebraditas to tecnobanda to grupero, and yes, it's not everybody gets it, but if anybody gets it, please like this and comment below that you like Pegaso, you like Liberación, you like Temerarios. A big part of my childhood, growing up, and teenagers and all of that, music had a big impact. My dad used to be in a band, and it was called La Pobreza, so here in Kansas City. So every time people are saying and it's nothing against First Latinos or whatever, I'm we go a little bit back.
That was a team.
Because we've been around for a while. We've been around here in Kansas City and East Side and everything for a very long time. So it was La Pobreza that my dad used to be in a band in. He was the drummer. And then my uncles off of my mom's side, they were in a group and it still exists. So before, it used to be called Interrogación Tropical. Then it turned into Grupo Chantaje. And then it turned into Grupo Chantaje.
Chantaje.
Yes. So if anybody recognizes, knows, remembers Grupo Chantaje, they're still around. And I love my uncle. He's really, really cool. Kiko Calderon. So if he happens to see this,
hasta
saludos.
Tiene nombre artístico.
Oh, yeah.
Kiko Calderon.
Yeah. What I love is that he's been able to make a living off of music. So tiene su estudio ahí en la casa. He still records. I've done some graphic design for him, but he still performs and the band still exists.
I think that's important to say because soon we're going to have our Familias Empoderadas conference, and in there we have a panel on the power of the arts. In my experience, I also am an artist, but sometimes my parents did not believe in the power or in how important were the arts for el desarrollo de los muchachos. So I like it that your family is really into the arts, musicians, all of that.
Yeah, and then I have a cousin. So Nando, saludos. You better be watching this, and I will tag him in this.
Yes.
He sings, plays guitar. You do not have to ask him twice to sing. So I think we're very fortunate. I think we do come from a musical family. So.
Do you sing, play?
So Irán, mi pareja, will call me out in this, but yes, I will sing sometimes.
Okay.
So I just need a lot of courage, and that's why I'm forever proud of young people that are able to explore and expose and show their art, because singing can be very vulnerable, but I do like it.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your upbringing and your educational experience. How was that? Did you always wanted to be what you are? Any struggles? Anything?
Yeah. So I remember even drawing a picture once that I was deciding if I wanted to be a nun, a clown, or a musician. And then I thought maybe I can be all three of them. Yeah. And I guess I'd probably have to dig deep into that to see if I really am I the clown? Am I the nun? Am I the musician? Which maybe I picked out some of those qualities and maybe I'm doing something of that. But no, I mean, I'm being complete. I think I figured out that the best way to just kind of be yourself is be completely honest. And so then being completely honest, when I was younger, I did not think I was going to go past 20 years old.
Wow.
I have no idea, but I just did not see myself as an adult.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you that, whoa, my dream was always to do this. No, I don't know. I didn't see it. Y entonces, ahorita que ya voy creciendo, I'm and I'll share this with young people too, that we think no, I'm just fine. Because I've also heard from other young people that have thought that they wouldn't go past a certain age. And I don't know if it's because it's so I born and raised on the East Side. And I don't know, I mean, it wasn't the safest neighborhood, wasn't the best neighborhood, but I don't know. I wonder if that was a part of it.
When you're living through that, is it I'm living life hard and I don't care if I don't pass 20, or hey, by 20,
I just didn't think I was gonna be here. I mean, I can't tell you that I had anything, where, again, because I think we need to be more honest about like mental health and stuff that, because I work in mental health stuff. I didn't have suicidal thoughts or anything like that. Okay. I didn't see myself as being an adult. So, or I think so. I think maybe sometimes it was also like a blah kind of feeling, not in a bad way, not whatever, but it was just, what else is there? I don't know. So I say that to kind of talk about kind of what I was expecting or what I was thinking of or what I was dreaming of. I did not want to go to college. I was pretty much like a straight A, B, good student. And like in high school, and I remember like the counselors were talking, let's talk about college and scholarships. I don't want to. Honestly, like there was a big fight at the house because I said, no quiero ir al colegio.
Yeah.
And parents kind of got mad. They stayed mad. And yeah, I ended up, so I did not go to college, but I've taken all sorts of courses. This is what I did realize about me. I like to learn. So I will keep learning. And so then if there's courses, if there's trainings, if something, whatever it is, I like to learn. I will say that sometimes I have heard from some young people that I know, and they're like, hey, but Celia didn't go to college, so I'm going to be fine because I could do this whole bilingual stuff. So I want to make this very clear. I'm a little bit older. I'm going to stop right here. Like, so I'm a little bit older. And back then, it was enough to be bilingual because nobody checked me. Nobody checked me. It was, you put on your little sheet of paper, bilingual, Spanish, English, and they would say, okay. That was 20, 30 years ago. We are not in the same times anymore. And so then, back then, if that competitiveness was like, okay, I speak Spanish, go and hire me. Ahorita, that's not enough. Yeah. Okay, you're bilingual, but how bilingual? You're proficient, how proficient? What is your subject matter expertise? Like, what's beyond that high school in Spanish? Because there is a ton of us now. And so then, I think right now what's kind of taken me to where I'm at professionally is my experience. Yeah. And I would love for young people to be able to fast track goals, fast track income, fast track education, opportunities, etc. By putting in the work and taking advantage of resources. I think one thing too that happened to me when I was younger, it felt like forever to be an adult.
Yeah. And then once you're an adult, it's just like, it's going so quick.
Yeah, so I think, I think part of it is also, that's kind of what happened to me too, is I thought like, I don't see myself growing old. Now I realize, what if you do grow old?
Yeah.
You know, what if things do work out your way? What if you are here, and not physically here, but like here in the house, in the place, with the family, with the relationship, que esto y que lo otro. What if you do have that? And you could have done maybe something in 2 years, in 3 years. And I will say college, whatever it is, college is the technical career, is the skilled trade, something. And I think like that's what we definitely need right now. It's not enough to be bilingual. Yeah, and I think nowadays we have different programs too, different scholarships that make it easier for the youth. If it's not college, but there's also technical colleges, great jobs, KC, certifications, that is more accessible now. Yeah. So yeah, take advantage. Yeah, time will fly. And so then when you think that, you know, like, y lo digo por mí, you know, that like when you're 18 and you're like, oh, like I just want to start like this adult life. Nothing is going to happen in 2 years. It's going to be like, you miss so much. Invierte 2 años. Yeah. You know, put in 2, 3, 4 years. You know, find something that fits you. I think also one thing that kind of pushed me away when I was younger was just like, I don't see myself in that space. And I will say definitely like now, I definitely see more people in professional spaces, in education spaces, in skilled trade spaces, that do look like us, that do talk like us, that do mix up the Spanish and the English and the, you know, and then we don't have to look a certain way. Entonces creo que sí me faltó eso. Okay. To a little bit to be like, I'm not that, like I'm just me. And yeah, so I love everything that you're doing here, exposing others to just something different.
My question was, what do you do? Tell the people what you do. I say this because working at the university, in my own experience, sometimes we go to college or we grow up just knowing a few things, doctor, lawyer, dentista, but there's other things that people can do. That's why this is important, just to highlight and elevate what other people are doing in different areas that sometimes people might not see themselves in. No, for sure. So I think I didn't figure out this term, but I got this from my partner, because when I'm trying to figure out
when I'm trying to figure out how to explain to people what I do, but because I think about, okay, is it this? Is it personal? Is it work? So I think the best definition is metiche, is what I was told. So metiche en el sentido de que I think since we don't have any kids, I got time. I consider myself metiche because I got that word from my partner. But I think because we don't have kids, I have some time. And so then I think that because I'm able to do different things, I don't take it lightly that's the reason that I can do stuff. So officially, my 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever typical people say for hours, I work for UnitedHealthcare on the Kansas Medicaid side. I started working in Medicaid back in the year 2000, so it's been about like 24-ish years that I've had like Medicaid experience. UnitedHealthcare. With UnitedHealthcare, I'm in our Social Determinants of Health department. Social determinants of health means that there are things outside of our healthcare appointments that affect our healthcare. Okay, and there's a whole longer conversation.
Yeah, we'll go in a little bit.
But what I love is that even just that topic of social determinants of health connects so many pieces of my worlds. So UnitedHealthcare, that's my regular job. I was appointed to 2 commissions at the city. So one is the Municipal Art Commission and the other one is the LGBTQ Commission. So for the Municipal Art Commission, I'm a regular commissioner. And for the LGBTQ Commission of the City of Kansas City, Missouri, I'm vice chair. Those 2 things. I'm board chair for artist mentorship. So if you went out to Americana, Celebrate Americana a couple of weeks ago, shout out to artist mentorship, love them, great. So I think those are those things. But then like unofficially, I guess I've learned to like, if I want to be involved in something, I'll be involved. So if there's a volunteer, something, I will try to do what I can. But I think sometimes people in the community know me because I've been busy for some years. When I think about like my first volunteer work, I started at 14 officially because my sister was having her quinceañera. She's a year older. So my sister was gonna have her quinceañera and she needed to do her hours. And since I'm a year afterwards, they were like, well, why don't you go ahead and just do your hours too or something. So I started at 14, volunteering, and I still see some families and parents from way back then. I still see parents and families. I used to work in Head Start. So I see those 5-year-olds and 4 and 3-year-olds that I knew back then now have boyfriends, girlfriends. Okay. I see them dancing at the bailes. They were grown, amazing young people. So I think because I've been involved for some time and then I have these official hats, I think sometimes that's how people kind of know me. So I think I've really been fortunate enough to learn this new healthcare terminology within these past couple of years of, again, this social determinants of health. Things that affect our healthcare outside of our doctor's appointment is a good way to explain it. And so then now, when I see that being mentioned in webinars and meetings and etc., I felt like it's given a name to the things that have always interested me. So, immigration is huge. So I think, I always say this too, like whenever people have uninformed opinions about immigration, and I would say hurtful or negative ideas about immigration, in my mind, I'm just like, do you know how many decades this has been going on? Yeah. So this is nothing new.
No.
This is not a secret. This is not something that we're so no. It's been a long, long time. And so then if it's been going on all of this time, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into all that, but it affects the everyday lives of so many people. And I think especially with immigration, it's not, gonna be just the person with whatever type of status, because we think we know stuff about immigration, okay? But whatever status it is, that person, that individual is attached to all of these people. It's a parent, a caregiver, an employee, a young person, an adult. It's not this singular one little piece, and not even a piece. It's like a person, an individual, like an amazing contributor to like so many things around us, to our everyday living. So I don't know, immigration is important to me. Mental health and healthcare is important to me. And I think between mental health and healthcare, those are two things that are affected by our everyday actions as well. You know, I think about, you know, the needs that our community has. I don't know, like, when I think about, you know, like the younger self, my younger self, you know, what are those things that contributed to me thinking, you know, I'm not going to be here a long time? Were there things around me? Were there things in my neighborhood that I saw? Was there a lack of aspirations? Was there a lack of models? You know, what could have changed the way that maybe I saw my future? Which I feel good right now where I'm at. But I don't know, I just think there's everyday things that affect our health, our mental health. And then because, you know, immigration has been a part of my whole life. So I think those are the topics that most motivate me to just do stuff.
Growing up, well, you kind of answered this, but growing up, tenías mentores or role models, somebody to look up?
Like, are you talking about, like, professionally?
Yes, professionally or personal.
So I'm going to say professionally, no. Like, I don't want to minimize something that, or someone that maybe I'm not thinking of, but like right off the bat to be like, oh, I remember, no. Oh, the only time I do remember, and I even told my friend about this. So it was in high school. I went to Bishop Hogan High School, and there was a classmate of mine, Camila. Her mom came in and talked to us about like professional development, I don't know, like career day or whatever. And it was the first time that I saw a woman. Now I can use this language of a woman of color, okay? And then specifically a Black woman. Professional, dressed, giving us all of this. I hadn't seen that. I mean, not a brown person, not a person of color, not a Latina, not a Mexican. And I always remember there was Camila's mom. And so she gave us all these little sheets of, it was like these little cards, like motivational things. And I kept it, like I still have it there at the house. But it was a little card that said, those on top of the mountain didn't just get there or appear there, didn't just pop there, didn't magically arrive. I can't remember exactly what it was. And so then I think, while it wasn't like a regular figure, whatever, 100% I remember Camila's mom. That came into the classroom.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Camila's mom.
Yeah. I have her on LinkedIn now. So she's Dr. Cheryl Cooper.
Okay, doctor.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because she has a PhD. Yep, that's it. And she has a book out too, and I read that too. So.
No, I heard you talk about mental health and behavioral health. I'm like, wait, what's the difference of mental health? I can't remember where though.
Okay.
Oh no, we had the market, and then in there I think.
Oh, okay, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and mental health.
Yeah, so mental health, behavioral health, the way that I like to explain it is that, because you'll see the words in clinics, paperwork, online stuff, mental health, behavioral health. Mental, we think about it just being up here. And yes, it's mental health because it's part of our brain and all of this, but the way like everyday thinking, what I love about behavioral health is that it's not just here. It's here. It's in my feet. It's today. That like if my mental health would have told me, because we said like towards the end of the afternoon today, it's it's the end of the week.
Yeah.
It's kind of like blah towards the end of the day. What if my mental health, and I'm not saying tiredness, but what if I would have had like a hard day at work? What if something upset me? What if I was just feeling really, really down? And what if I was like, you know what, Iván, I know we're gonna go out today, but I don't wanna get out. I don't wanna take a shower. I don't wanna put my eyeliner on, okay? Whatever it is, right? But just, it ends up being that what's here ends up here, and it ends up here, and sometimes I stay in my bed, I cancel to you, I don't go out, my mental health affects my behavior.
Yeah.
So it's not just here. And this is what I teach mental health first aid classes, and we talk about noticing and responding to signs of mental health illnesses and challenges. And this is what I say, and I say it in English and in Spanish. The whole idea of, because we hear this in English and in Spanish, que todo está en la mente, that everything is in your mind. And it's not true. I say, si estuviera en mi mente, if it was only stuck in my head, I wouldn't be crying. If it was only in my head, and I'm not going to touch my chest here because I got the microphone on, but my heart wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be sweating. I wouldn't be anxious. I wouldn't stay in bed. No, the mental health and the things that, that are repeated and repeated and repeated over my mind that can feed into what I decide to do or not to do. So mental health, behavioral health, and we're going to see that in all sorts of spaces. In healthcare, again, online stuff. So when you see something online that says behavioral health, mental health, they're talking about the same things. Yeah.
Dang.
So it's no está en la cabeza. Like feeling this right here.
I guess, yeah, we can be transparent that I have lost friendships because there'll be that Friday night that we had plans, and I'm like, no, if you go there, people will look at you. If you go there, then I will feel embarrassed or I will feel anxious. So I would just cancel. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. But I kept doing that. And then the friendships just disappear.
Yep.
So yeah, what you're saying is the overthinking does the mental health.
I mean, and mental health does not mean mental health illness. Does not mean mental health problems. It just means it's the state of well-being. El estado de, it just means that, what is it?
Yeah.
It's not my feelings it's how everything is connected. And I mean, because we can just, I want to say so much, and I want to repeat everything. I have a class tomorrow. So that's why I'm thinking about all of these things too.
Yeah.
But
how do you treat that? How do you get better? Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's recognizing facts. So the fact, and this is something we mentioned in the class. So when we're having mental health, and the word is not, I think through the mental health first aid class, we end up learning a lot of new words. So the word I like a lot is challenge. A mental health challenge. That means that, it's not a diagnosis. It's not a defining problem that's your new label. You know what? It just means that it's kind of a tough moment. And these are my words. These are not clinician words. These are not official. It's kind of like, but how do we understand this in everyday life? So let's say we're going through a challenge, and I notice that it's affecting my relationships, maybe my productivity. Not productivity like work stuff, but maybe productivity and do I decide to get up? Do I decide to contribute and do something in my house, my daily activities? Okay, Celia, I'm feeling something, and hold on. This is definitely affecting this or this or this. And this is what I like to think about. I was like, okay, you notice something? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Entonces sometimes, and I will say this too, I have a really good friend, so saludos Mariana, that she will even say, dude, levántate, let's go to, and because she did this to me the other day, where she was like, join me at the gym or something. And I'm like, come on. And sometimes I think we also have to do that too. What if you tell your friend no? But that friend says, come on, Iván.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Ándale, come on, just hang out for a little bit. We're going to have to find maybe some new words in our mind. To be like, okay, Celia, okay, Iván, whatever words we end up using. I have friends, and they do like me for who I am. I think we have to find truth. The truth is that this person reached out because they like me.
Yeah.
The truth is this person reached out is that because we haven't seen each other. The truth is I don't have to hang out all night long.
Yeah.
And when I think of friends, and we're all pretty young, okay?
Yeah.
And here's another reality. We don't always have to drink either.
No.
Because sometimes that's what is expected to drink and whatever. Party or whatever it is. like, another truth is, all right, Celia, I really don't feel like going out. But you know what? I remember I felt really nice when I did my makeup. You know what? I have that shirt that I bought that I haven't worn. You know what? I do want to go out for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we find some truths. We set up our barriers. Maybe I do know I have to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to be out all night long. So I think part of it is telling ourselves some truths, finding something to help us, whether it's asking for help, whether it's deciding to find finding those things that do good for us. Build up this courage and say, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that we do lose friends.
Yeah.
We lose relationships. And this is something that we say in classes, that like, even if we're going through a mental health challenge, something is going on, diagnosed, not diagnosed, whatever it is, something is happening, and it's affecting my relationships, spouses, family, friends. It's sad and it's kind of scary, but they don't have to stick around.
No.
People can leave.
Yeah.
And if we love people, if we like people, if there are people that help us feel good, and I want those people in my life, okay, Celia, then I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna work on this because I don't want to lose the good things that I have.
What has helped me sometimes is I can go there, but I can stay 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the next time 15 minutes. My good friend Mia, we were having this same talk, like try 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then before you know it, it'll be an hour that you stay out. So it has helped. Yeah.
And and I think also like maybe we suggest new things, like esto.
Yeah.
What if it's hey friend, it's okay. Like let's say we're not used to, hanging out with a ton of new people, or there's things that maybe we're not totally comfortable with. Whatever it is, the amount of time, the place that it is, the time of the day, whatever it is. How about we say, hey friend, hey colleague, because I mean colleagues. Okay? We don't always need to depend on friends. Like we also have colleagues that we can establish relationships with. What if we said, hey friend, hey colleague, hey person, I want to check out Rock Island Trail.
Yes.
Okay, we're over here near Raytown, Lee Summit, all this type of stuff. We're like, I just want to go walking.
Yeah.
Y te digo que we had some friends that we invited out here. We only come out biking once with them, but could we come biking instead of drinking?
Yeah.
Could we come walking instead of spending money and eating out? So I think we can also suggest things and not always wait for things to be those typical things. Because I think we'll be surprised to find out that other people wanted to try something different with us too.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So, yeah.
You want to talk about, I want to ask you any tips, because you've been with your, I don't know if you want to get into this, you've been with Iván for what, 12 years?
So, sacando la cuenta, my partner and I have been together since 2008.
Okay.
So, saca la cuenta? I don't know. I can't think right now.
14. No. 16 years.
Oh, 16 years. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because 15 was last year. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but you married in 2012.
Yes, we got married in 2012. So I think one thing that has helped us is that, like, I think you genuinely want to see that other person be better. You want to celebrate them, and then you equally invest in yourself. Because I think the way I see it is that, like, if for some reason we were to break up, not be together, I don't want these 16 years to be a waste of time, neither for you, neither for me. So can we both leave this relationship if we were to? I mean, it's also like being realistic, right? Which is, we're good or whatever.
Yeah.
But if we were to leave this relationship, could you be a better person? Could I be a better person? And so then part of it is me like looking at ways to improve myself. I'm not perfect.
No,
I mess up.
That's a challenge sometimes.
And also not being too hard on myself, but understanding like what are those things that I need to improve on myself. And then, what are things that I can do to support my partner?
What are your favorite things to do together?
Okay, so we've had different phases in our lives, in everything from like fun party times.
Yeah.
And so then I think that is also a transition of like, all right, we used to do this together. Now are we ready to transition to something different? And at the same time. So I think that can also have some challenges. But right now I think we're like kind of like nerdy in some stuff. So Phase 10, I hope everyone learns how to play Phase 10. And Phase 10 is a card game kind of like Uno, but not like Uno. What I love about Phase 10 is that you don't need English or Spanish. Like it's all numbers.
Okay.
So we've played it with older people, younger people. Ashley, David, dos sobrinos, we got them into it and they get pretty competitive, which is cool. So Phase 10, board games, biking, yeah, just hanging out, I guess. And hanging out means we invite friends over to the house, brunch, dinner, cooking, eating. I wash dishes because I don't cook. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
I set the table. I can do that.
What does she cook?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing that she cooks?
Oh, I will say this. So, in Iran, I want my scallops that you don't even remember the recipe because this is what happened. It was for my birthday, I think like during COVID. They were the best scallops. They had a bit of like pistachio, peanuts, some kind of nuts like that. I can't remember what it was exactly. But there was no recipe. So I haven't had them again. And there's many attempts to like try to get them back to exactly what they were. But I will forever remember those scallops. So I think that's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Well, we're almost to the end, but do you have any words for the youth? For the youth especially. In the series, we're highlighting different Impacto awardees that were recognized with that community award. So I've been asking if they have a message for the youth. If they want to get involved, if they're having doubts about identity, if they're having mental health issue, anything that you would like to tell them.
So I think now that I'm older, I think one thing that's really helped me is honesty. And I'm not saying a reckless honesty because I'm like, this is me, this is who I am, I don't want to do. Okay, no, calm down. Like the for real, vulnerable, deep inside, that curiosity to say, I wonder what it's like. That would be cool if. Don't be afraid of that. You know? And I say the not reckless one because also like in younger years, we can also make some not so responsible decisions, no judgment at all. But we can be responsible, we can be dreamers, we can be curious, we can be risky. But I think the way that we grew up, so this is not going to be for others, but the way we grew up, and this is where I'm coming from, I think we were very sheltered. Where it was like, no hagan esto, no hagan esto, don't do this, don't do that, be careful, ¿qué va a decir la gente? And everything, so there's everything of like the don't do's. And I see that still happening with a lot of our people of like, no, I don't. And I heard this not too long ago from somebody, an adult, saying like, oh, I really wanted to go to blank part of the city, but I don't know, like, I don't know. No, it's like not be afraid to try something, to go somewhere. We sometimes just get so used to what we're comfortable with. And I don't want us to be afraid of the really, really cool things that we could learn from, that we could grow from, that could feed this genuine curiosity of maybe want to do something. Because digo algo, so many years ago, and I remember, did you ever watch Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Anyway, so
My sister did.
Yeah, it was like a teenager movie or whatever. They went to Greece. And in my mind, I was like, oh, that would be so cool to go to Greece. But I was not used to anything Greece. I'm used to El Rancho, El Derramadero, and Kansas City. You know, that's all kind of that I really knew for most of my life. And I had a friend that was like, let's go to Greece.
Fuiste?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it was like a movie type stuff. And they were like, I never thought. They were like, if I didn't see myself as at an older age, mucho menos would I ever think of myself being like way over there. And so I think not being afraid of curiosity. and develop strengths. Find good things, find good people. Don't be afraid of yourself. Still be responsible, because sometimes we cannot make the best decisions, because I'm like, this is me. Forget you guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like the for real, vulnerable, deep down inside. I really want to try this. And I think we'll find good things there.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Celia, for talking with me. We always see each other in different community events. It's always nice just to have a conversation.
Thank you.
Get to know each other.
Yes. No, thank you very much. I think like this is, when I say like, let's dig deep into our curiosity, like this is the cool stuff. If you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to have a conversation with somebody, I want to walk.
Yeah.
Even if you don't record yours,
like
do something different like this.
Yeah. No,
so, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Be sure to check out the next episode of the series. And today we had Celia hiking with Iván. See you next time.